Shri Krishna, Shri Krishna, Shri Krishna, Shri Krishna. Gurur Brahma, Gurur Vishnu, Gurur Devo Maheshwara, Guru Sakshat Param Brahma, Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha, Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Out of 144 verses in this Aparokshanubuti, maximum number of verses are dedicated for one topic, and that topic is how we cannot be the gross body. See, that tells how important it is. And therefore, like we told yesterday, spiritual practice means rising above body identification. When this will become a clear goal, then our dharma, artha, kama, moksha, everything is sorted out. Even in the yoga is not meant for maintaining health of the body. Health is the secondary aspect. The purpose is we have to rise above the body identification. Now the question comes, what is the reason that we get identified with the body? So today one doctor came to me and he said, Swamiji, please take me out of this Maya. I said, okay, don't go to UP. So simple it is. You'll be out of Maya. Then he told his problem. He said, my daughter is having a small little flu kind of thing, and therefore cough and cold. So I consulted the pediatrician and he told me to give some antibiotics, and I gave that also. And he is also a doctor. And he said, I know it's not a very serious affair. It's a passing flu in the school. Children are mixing together. It goes. It's not a big deal. And I know all this. And yet, I am so upset. I am so disturbed. I am not able to do anything. What should I do? See, we become so much involved in this world only because our identification with the body is very solid. And what is the reason? The reason is Ajnana Yogataha. Yesterday we have seen few examples. Alatam Brahmane Naiva Vartulam Bhati Suryavat Tadvad Atmani Dehatva Pashyati Ajnana Yogataha. Like, when a torch is moving in a circular motion, there appears as if there is a circle of light, but there is not. It is just an appearance. And when that appearance is seen by us, now the question is, where is that appearance? See, I'll tell you one of my experience. I don't know if I told you. This is which month? February. Yes, then I must not have told. This happened in Goa. We had 7 days, lectures, and 2 days they have taken me for a retreat, just for a, kind of a change. Then I told I am ready to come on one condition. Nobody will ask me any questions. Then I will come. And second thing, no elderly person will be hanging around me. I will be staying and playing with the kids. If this is allowed, I will come, otherwise I will not come. So they agreed. So first day I played with the children nicely and we had some games. That night we slept, and next day morning, early morning, I got up and then went for a walk. So one friend, he said, Swamiji, you told us, but can I join you for a walk? I said, on one condition, you will not talk. You don't know my tragedies. How much I suffer. Because what happens, nobody listens to them. So here is a free victim. And I have no choice. So we went. And when it was, just sunrise, such a beautiful open space and mountains all around and a nice walk, fresh air, unlike Bombay air. And when the sun was rising, I said, hey, stop here, look at the sunrise and don't blink your eyes and keep on looking at the sunrise as long as you can. And I also stood. Maybe for about 2-3 minutes, by then the sun came slowly like a small spot and then started growing and then lifted itself up. Maybe about 2-3 minutes it must have taken. I said, keep on looking. After that was over, I said, now let's go walk back. Now I'll ask you some questions. And this is our experiment. I said, now tell me what you are seeing. He said, Swami, I am seeing the world as well as that glow of the sun is still in front of my eyes. Very good. Both things you are seeing? Correct. Now close your eyes. Now what you are seeing? I am seeing only that glowing ball of the sun. Very good. Now open your eyes. Now you are seeing the world. We did it 3-4 times. After some time, the glow of the sun disappeared. Now open again eyes, now you can see the world. I said, now from this experiment, what you have learned? He said, I don't know. I did whatever you told. We are unable to analyze and learn our own experiences. We are leading our life mechanically. Whether we are chanting the Lord's name, Bhagwan will think Makki has come. He will not know that it is the Lord's name being chanted. So, I say, okay, now learn. Where are you seeing this world and how are you seeing this world? This world we see when our eyes are open and the world is bathing in the light and then it makes an impression on the mind and then we see the world. Is it not? Yes. So what we are seeing actually not the world, but it is the image of the world that is seen, not the world. Okay. And when we were closing our eyes and seeing that glowing ball of sun, where it was seen, that was also seen on the mind. So these two experiences, they are like the waking experience and the dream experience. The experience which demands connection between the sense organs and the objects for happening, that experience is a waking experience. And that experience which does not demand any object in front, operation of the sense organs, but there are impressions on the mind. So both the experiences, waking and the dream, both experiences are seen on the mind and they are seen as merely impressions. And both of them are illumined by the same factor. If this is recognized, where is the place for Mr. Waker? Where is the place for Mr. Dreamer? See, friends, the one who is illuminating waking experience, dream experience, and the absence of these two experiences called as the deep sleep experience is one and the same. See, where is the place that I am the body? Where is the place that I am the mind? Where is the place that I am happy or miserable? I have done this thing, I have not done this thing. It has no place. But ajnana yogataha, because of the incomplete knowledge, because of the incorrect knowledge. Ignorance means incomplete knowledge. Ignorance means incomplete knowledge, and this incomplete knowledge is called as our wisdom. And therefore, here, anatam brahmaninaiva vartulam bhati suryavat. When we take the torch and move it, it creates an illusion of a circle, but which is not there. So where do we see that circle? The circle is neither outside nor inside. It is just an appearance. Is it not true with this world? Tadvat atmani dehatvam pashyati ajnana yogataha. When we keep on holding on to this body identification, whatever you may do, it will sound very crude and very bold. But this is the truth. Unless we are able to get rid of this basic error, all the sadhana that we do is only pouring water on upside down pot. Another example is given. Mahatve sarva vastunam anutvam yati durataha tadvat atmani dehatvam pashyati ajnana yogataha. Mahatve sarva vastunam anutvam yati durataha. When the objects are very big, like the sun, if we compare the actual dimensions of the sun and the earth, they are so different. But we see the earth as bigger than the sun because it is far away. Similarly, the clouds covering the sun, we say that the clouds are covering the sun. Clouds are not covering the sun. The clouds are covering our vision. But we, ajnana yogataha, because of the wrong understanding, we say that the sun was covered by the clouds. Sun can never be covered by the clouds. In the same manner, mahatve sarva vastunam anutvam yati durataha tadvad atmani dehatvam pashyati ajnana yogataha. In the same manner, this body is neither created by us nor the body listens to us, and the body is constantly changing. And therefore we say that, I don't feel I am old. You cannot. Because the one who is experiencing is not the body. It is the embodied. See, we don't get pain to our body. We get pain in the mind. There is no tension in the body. The tension is in the mind. See, when we sleep, during that sleep what happens? The mind has given up the shape of the body. The shape of the body is given up. As a result, mind is completely relaxed. And when we get up from the sleep, we feel fresh. Now, where from the freshness has come? See, the day we understand this principle, that body neither feels the pain, nor is tired, nor is exhausted, it is the mind. Therefore, when they give the local anesthesia and operate, don't we see? We see what is happening. And yet there is no pain. There is no feeling that something is being done or not. Because all experiences happen only in the mind. Now be attentive. When we are identified with the body, when the mind is identified with the body, or the mind has taken the shape of the body, it is natural that the mind will be thinking in relation to that body alone. See, take the example of me and my child. So as I am identified with my body, so also I am identified with my child. Then my thinking will be in relation to my child, not the child. My is important. And this is how we get caught up. See? And therefore, Ajnana Yogataha, it is only out of this wrong understanding. We go on imagining that the body is me, and after the body is me, then I become a horde of poultry farm. Husband, wife, brother, sister, mother, father, uncle, auntie, and there is no end to it. And this has gone so deep. Therefore, if you see the yoga in the whole world, for them yoga means only twisting the body. They are unable to recognize that the embodied is someone different from the body. And that is why Patanjali has given only 2 sutras for the asana, not more than 2. And if you see the whole world, yoga means only asanas. See, friends, because body oriented, the whole spiritual practice is body oriented. So, tadvad atmani dehatvam pashyati ajnana yogataha sukshmatve sarvavasthunam sthulatvam cha upanetrataha tadvad atmani dehatvam pashyatya jnana yogataha. Although the things are very minute, very small, yet upanetra means a magnifying glass. But when you apply a magnifying glass to see, they look big. But does it mean that they are big? It is only because of the conditioning of the magnifying glass. In the same manner, see, the other day I was doing some thing. Somewhere somebody has written my name on a board and told me, Swamiji, how do you like this thing? I said, oh, you keep it there, I will see. So when I saw, I said, hey, it looks pretty good. And then I just removed my glasses and I was cleaning my eyes, tired. And then without the glasses I saw. I said, hey, why did you write so small? Nobody can read it. But when I saw with the glasses, it was perfectly all right. Now the question is, the size of those letters, which is big and which is small? For me, which is big is small for others. See, don't we do the font size in the laptop? It looks magnified so big, but the font size is hardly 10. See, therefore, all the perceptions gathered through the sense organs and the mind, they fall in the category of illusion. But we take them to be right and real, and therefore we suffer in life. Ajnana yogataha. Therefore, let us recognize this importance. All the spiritual practices get out of the body identification. See? Bhagavan Shankaracharya, Dakshinamurti Stotra, this one particular verse I like the most, wherein he says, Vishwam pashyati karya karanataya swaswami sambandhataha Shishacharyataya tathaiva pitru putradhyatmana bhedataha Swapne jagrati vaya esha purushaha Maya paribhramitaha Tasmai Sri Gurumurtaye Namaidam Sri Dakshinamurtaye. The world comes into existence when cause and effect is taken to be real. Go beyond the cause and effect. Our mind will be like the mirror. Mirror reflects everything, but doesn't react on what is reflected in the mirror. We don't do that. Our perception is immediately followed by habitual projection. And then we have to go and interact whether we are required or not. See, there is one girl, I know her for quite some time, and in this so many maybe years, I don't think I must have spoken more than 4-5 sentences. See? He comes, does all the work, what is to be done? No talk. So one day I asked, I said, Mama, when you are doing your job, you are busy. Suppose you are not doing it, what do you think? She said, I don't think. What is there to think? Then what do you do? I know, I simply sit down. Then don't you get bored? Why should I get bored? If I think, then I'll get bored. See the quality of the mind, you know. But we have to all the time, whole day, because inside, if there is a poultry farm, outside there cannot be meditation. There is only eggs laying going on. Cock. Therefore, recognize this. All the experiences are only in the mind, and the mind creates the logic of cause and effect, and then the samsara is born. So, Vishwam Pashyati Karya Karanataya. Then, Swami Sambandataha. Then we create relations in this world. Boss, subordinate, one relation. Most dangerous relation is Guru-Shishya relation. Shishyacharitaya. See? One day one person asked me, Swamiji, when the people say that Lord's name protects us, so for Gurus, why they require protection? Why they should keep on chanting Lord's name? I said, you don't know the tragedy of the Gurus. You know? They are persecuted by the disciples, by the devotees. So give them mantra and keep them blocked. Karte raho jo. Shishyacharitaya. And then Putra and Pita. All these relations are only mental creations. It has no value. And how they are created? Only after the body identification. When there is no body identification, all these things have no existence. Therefore, Kacha bhumau chalatvam va jala bhumau hi kachata tadvad atmani dehatvam pashyati ajnana yogataha. See, Kache bhumau jalatvam. When there is a glass laid, it appears as if it is a sheet of waters, and sometimes the water is so still, it appears as if it is a glass. See? This was the story of Duryodhana visiting the Maya creation of Pandavas. So when it was looking as if it is a floor, and it was actually the waters, and when Duryodhana fell, Draupadi said, naturally a son of a blind cannot see. That created the whole Mahabharata. And it is, I can understand, Draupadi was a woman. How can she keep her mouth shut? And Duryodhana was a man, foolish of the highest order. If you laugh at yourself, you will never be miserable in life. Okay? I'll give my example. Once it happened in Australia. We were on a beach and with my lungi on and very hot sun. So I put on the goggles and the felt cap because it was so scorching heat. And time was hardly 10 o'clock in the morning. Morning, our meditation, everything was over. I used to go every day in the morning on the seaside. Very nice, long, wide beach and nice waves coming and going. And when we were going, suddenly the wind started blowing as if, and waves started coming. And in that, my cap got blown up. See? So with my lungi and the cap going, it should not go into the water, it will become very wet, and I was running to catch it and I fell in the sea and everything was drenched, water came over me, like that. And I started laughing. So when I started laughing, everybody enjoyed. Had I become serious, oh, being a Swami, I have forever. For the sea, the Swami or the swine, they are the same. Learn to laugh at yourself. Life will be most beautiful. But we take some issues out of it. Therefore, kache bhumo chalatvam. The glass floor appears to be the watery, and the other way around. In the same manner, the body is mistaken by us as our abode. It is here as if we stay. We don't stay in the body stays in us. Now this is the principle which is emphasized in and through all the topics. When we are talking about the rebirth, what does it mean? It means before this body was born, we were existing. And then again we will be born. So when this body is destroyed, we continue to exist. So how can we be the body? How can there be a fear of death? See, friends, Ajnana Yogataha, because of the incomplete knowledge. As I told you yesterday, try that. We are all here for a vacation. After vacation is over, we go back. And when we go for a vacation, we don't count money. We spend, we enjoy. And then we go back. See, friends, that will change our complete perspective of life. For example, I'll tell you, this happened in UP somewhere, many years before. I was going on a scooter for some work. And it was a very funny kind of job given to me, but I did it. So I went to one town where I had to organize something. So when I went to one shop and asked, I said, hey, is there somebody who is a person who is entertaining Mahatma, Satsangi, etc.? He said, yes, that particular shop, he always has some Swamis or some Babajis with him. So I went to him. He did Namaskar Chamatkar. Then I told him, what is the purpose of my coming? He said, okay, that will sort out. Come, let's take food. It is time for food. So lunch time, at about 1:30 we went to his house. When we were going, he told, Swamiji, be ready to receive abuses and curses. I said, okay, as long as you give me food, it is okay. So when we were climbing the steps, wife said, so today you have got a new beggar with you. So he looked at me. I said, yes, understood. And then we sat for taking food. The son came. And the son said, you have got money to spend on these useless people in this world, but you have no money to get me a good car. He said, okay, let us finish the food and then I'll talk to you. He was cool. When he was cool, as a father, normally fathers are not cool. You know? So we finish our food. Then he said, look here, you are my son. Therefore, you will get my running business and a house to live. But all the money that I have earned, I am going to spend it before I die. Because I believe that this dharma that I will do will be the one which will come with me, and it will be kind of investment in my next life. You believe or not, who cares? I believe in this. Now for such a person, can there be a fear of death? Because he is preparing. See, friends, instead of understanding this, we get all the time worried about what will happen after I die. The world will be lighter. See, what will happen after I die? We are not required in this world. Tadvat atmane dehatvam pashyati ajnana yogataha yadvad agno manitvam hi mano va vannita puman Tadvad Atmani Dehatvam Pashyati Ajnana Yogataha Yadvat Agno Manitvam. This is the topic which comes in the scriptures to indicate what is an illusion. There are two types of illusions or errors. One is the right illusion and second is the wrong illusion. Okay. Samvadi Brahma and Asamvadi Brahma. They are technical terms. There were two distant lights and there are two persons. They saw, hey, what is there? It seems there must be, these are two temples, I understand, in that direction. There may be some diamond kept in the temples, they have got all the wealth. So see, it is shining so bright. So let us go and take it. Nobody will come. So both of them started walking towards these two sources of light. One person reached. It was a lamp flame which was seen from a distance, which he has mistaken as a diamond. The other person reached the other temple and he saw it was really a diamond. So the first was a wrong error and the second was the right error. Both were errors, they didn't know anything. In the same manner, here the teacher says, Yadvat Agno Manitvam. The fire is taken to be the diamond and vice versa. In the same manner, we being the absolute self, we forget about it and we take ourselves with the body and suffer throughout our life. After listening to Aparokshanubuti, out of so many verses, at least one will click. Don't underestimate our identification with the body. We are so firmly identified. And you know the firmness in the identification is, to that extent we are attached to the worldly possessions and worldly relations. Two things. How do we know that we are identified with the body? With what intensity? See? Like, somewhere when I went to somebody's house, half a dozen ladies were there. And while taking food, so I wanted to divert their attention, so they allowed me to eat on my own. So I said, hey, you all are having .com, but I see your .coms have got different sizes. Is there any philosophy behind the dot and husband? Because it is referring to your husband. So what is the philosophy? So we don't know. But there was one very intelligent lady for a change. And she said, Swamiji, the size of the dot is directly proportionate to the love for the husband. So bigger the dot, more the love. Lesser the dot, smaller the love. No dot. Therefore, Tadvat Atmani, we go on imagining this only. Somebody loves me, somebody doesn't love me. Somebody understands me, somebody doesn't understand me. Get out of all this. One thing try, which I am trying myself. Protect yourself. That's all. Don't try to make anybody happy in this world. Because everybody has got right to be miserable. You can't compel somebody to be happy. Similarly, we need not make anybody miserable. Because everybody is self-sufficient. They will work on themselves. You stand apart. Protect yourself. Therefore, Tadvad Atmani Dehatvam. When you protect yourself, you will not bother about the world. Don't care too much. See? We think, is it not our responsibility to look after our children? Let them live their life. You have lived your life. That's it. Don't carry the burden throughout your life. Abreshu satsu dhavatsu somo dhavati bhati vai tadvadatmani dehatvam pashyatya jnana yogataha. Actually, the clouds are running, but we see as if the sun, the moon is running because of the change in the focal length. But if you fix your eyes in the right way, then you come to very clearly understand it is the clouds which were running and not the moon. In the same manner, when our attention is on this unchanging reality, then we come to know that the whole world which begins from our body, which begins from our prana, which begins from our mind, it is from here onwards, everything is changing. See? But normally what old people's talks are there. See? When we were small, we used to go to the market with a handful of money and used to get a cart full of goods. Now you go with the cart full of money and you get handful of things. What do you want to say? What we achieve by this? See? But we can't get rid of our old memories. Give it a sincere try, friends. Refuse to get into your past. Your whole life will change, I guarantee you. Instead of that, we keep on hanging around the past. And then we want to bring our past in the present. Like one man in USA, a Gujarati. When I went to their house for food as usual, then his son was sleeping. I said, hey, where is your son? Call him. Oh, Swamiji, you go and call him. See, no food, free food. So I had to go to his room. And in his room, he was sleeping diagonally because he was huge. 6 plus and 4 plus. In a Bhujangasana he was sleeping. 12 o'clock daytime. So I thought he may be ill. He's not well. He is all right. He is always like that. I'm fed up. Now I knew what is coming. So I immediately changed the topic. Hey, pakode banaye ki nahi? Suddenly topic change. This is one technique, try. Learn to change the topics. In no time you should be able to change the topic. Because the persons who are talking to you, they are not serious. You become serious unnecessarily. See? So, when we were, I said, you also join? No, you take. I said, okay, I'll take. I thought he has forgotten, but he was established in his foolishness. Swamiji, I was telling you about my son. I said, my God. I said, okay, anyway, namak kha raha hu, so I can't run away. He said, okay, what is it? Swamiji, I come from Bombay. I said, yes. Then, back home, this standard phrase, back home, when we were children, when my father used to come in my room, I used to run into other room out of respect for him. Now, when my son comes in my room, I run to other room out of fear. What is my life? I said, you are yourself told. You are born to run. First because of your father, now because of your son. Keep on running. Such frustrated people. Do you think for them spirituality means anything except wanting to change their son? See, friends, focus attention on your own evolution. The world is perfect in its own place. Don't get too much involved with your children, with your parents, with your anybody in this world. Whatever you have to do it beautifully and relax. All the time carrying the load, carrying the load. See, friends, you know, in Bhagavad Mahapuran, one story comes. When the child died, who was born because of the blessing of a Mahatma, so the Mahatma and Naradji comes, like a Hindi cinema movie, at the right time, Narayana, Narayana. And then this king tells, you know, oh, my son died. So Mahatma said, I told you that time only. Now you are miserable because you don't have a child. You will be miserable because you have a child. The bottom line is you are bound to be miserable. How you are miserable doesn't matter. So, I don't want your philosophy, I want my child to be live. So Narandi said, okay, I'll call the soul. He called the soul, Bata soul. And tells, oh Jiva, enter the body. See how much your parents are crying. Enter the body and become a king and rule this world. So the soul says, which parents? Like every winter we buy a new pair of socks, in the same manner, every life I have a new pair of parents. If I keep on crying for them, I will never be able to remain happy in my life. See? Do we cry when the socks are gone? We get another. In the same manner, this body drop, the parents gone, new body, new fresh. But we keep on hanging on to this. Therefore, friends, let us bring our attention to the embodied and not the body. Yathaiva digviparyaso mohat bhavati kasyachit tadvad atmanidehatvam pashyatya jnana yogataha. Yatha kasyachit mohat digviparyaha bhavati. Viparyas means the contrary understanding. Contrary understanding means you think that this is the east but that is the west. Or you think this is the north but it is the south. And why you get it, you yourself don't know. It just happens. Mohat out of delusion. Please remember one principle. Delusion has no cause. Ignorance has no cause. Delusion or ignorance is the cause. Take an example. Do you know English? No, I don't know. Since when you don't know? Can you reply this question? Arey Baba, I never knew. So ignorance has no beginning and no reason. Why you don't know? That also I don't know. Be attentive. Whenever we go away from ourselves, we end up in delusion. Take an example. How much back is the past? 1 year, 2 years, 10 years, 100 years, million years, 10 million years. How many years back? I don't know. How much will be the future? How many years long? 21st December 2012? No. That also we don't know. Time, when we go away from ourselves, we do not know. Because we are the time. Second thing, space. How much deep is the space in front of you if you stand in front of the open space? How deep it is? I don't know. How deep is the space up above your head? I don't know. Because we are knowledge. When we go away from ourselves, we end up in ignorance. That is why Upanishad says, Kasminnu bhagavo vijnati sarvadam vijnatam bhavati. What is that, sir? Having known which everything becomes known. It is this presence. If the presence is there, then there is a past and future. If the present is there, then there is the south and the west. If the presence is there, then it is this and that. If the presence is not there, nothing has any existence. Therefore, Digvyaparyasaha, as the contrary understanding about the direction, has no logic, no reason. It is like that. Similarly, Atmani Dehatvam Pashyati Ajnana Yogataha. So what is meant here is very important principle. Don't go into why the ignorance is there, why God is making us suffer. These questions with why very clearly tell we are not interested. We don't have the urgency. We have not recognized the seriousness of the problem. Take an example. Suppose my house is on fire and I call the fire brigade. Hello Gupta ji, how are you? Everything is fine. I was thinking of calling you for so many years, but God never gave me an opportunity. Now the opportunity has come. By God's grace, my house is on fire. Will you please come and try to help me out? By the way, note down my address. All these things you will never say. You will simply say, hey, my house is on fire, come quickly. It is his responsibility to find out where from the phone has come, what is the location, and then the fire brigades will run there. In the same manner, when we have no urgency, we have unwanted questions. But why God created this world? See? When God is great or powerful, why He is not stopping the terrorists from killing the innocent people in the temple? These questions come from whom you know? Social workers. They feel that they are the saviors of this world. All the saviors have come and they have shaved off. The world continues as it is. And the real good that has been done to the world is not by the social workers but by the great masters who never claim anything. See, friends. Therefore, तद्वत् आत्मनिदेहत्वं पश्यति अज्ञान योगतः यथा शशि जले भाति चंचलत्वेन कस्यचित् तद्वत् आत्मनिदेहत्वं पश्यति अज्ञान योगतः यद्वत् जले, as one sees the moon shaking in the waters when it is reflected, actually the movement is that of the water and not that of the reflection. Be very attentive. See, absolute reality is not influenced by anything because other than the absolute there is nothing else. Number 1 point. Number 2, the absolute, when it gets reflected in the mind or the intellect, there is a reflection plus the mind surface. These together constitutes the soul or the jiva. Now the third point. When the waters are shaky, the reflection will appear to be shaky, but is that reflection really shaky? Why it is not really shaky? Because it is only an appearance, it is not an object. Now apply the same principle. Paramatma is not disturbed. Reflection of the Paramatma in the mind, which enlivens the mind and becomes living one, now that reflected consciousness also does not get influenced because reflection is not a reality. Therefore, who becomes miserable? Find out. See, one story comes in Panchadashi. There was a person who was told by some miscreant that your son met with an accident, and his father became very serious and very disturbed, and then he phoned his son in USA. In India, USA, the times are Ya Nisha Sarva Bhutanam Tasyam Jagrata. In the other way around. So this father got at the daytime, maybe about 12 o'clock or 1 o'clock, and he was so disturbed, he phoned his son. And from the other end, he got the banging. Dad, why don't you understand? This is night here. Don't talk anything. And put down the phone. Oh, thank God, he is there. Now the question comes. Who became miserable? The man never became miserable. The father also did not become miserable. See, misery and miserable have no existence. They are only illusions. Come come to recognize this principle, whatever may be the misery we have gone through in our life, it can never remain all the time. This is the common sense Upanishad available in Bhagavad Gita. See? Matra sparshastu kaunteya shitoshna sukha dukkhada agama apayina anityan tan titikshasva bharata. Hey Arjun, any experience that you gather through sense organs and mind, etc., all those experiences are, whether they are good or bad, sukha dukkhada, they are beginning in time, remain for some time, and end after some time. Therefore, they are temporary. Miseries are temporary. Happiness is permanent. We can be happy 24/7. We cannot be miserable 24/7. This has to be only recognized. But then who becomes miserable? This non-existing principle. And once we recognize this, that all these people who become miserable, they are the children of body identification. Body is not a problem. Functioning through the body is also not a problem. But after functioning through the body, when we start creating possessions and relations, the samsara is extended. See, friends. Therefore, nobody is really miserable. You just try to remember any most miserable event of your life and see, are you that miserable now when you were miserable then? You cannot be. You are the same, the event was the same, the misery is the same, but now the miserable one is not born. See, friends, once we come to recognize this principle, that the one which is ever present is the reality and nothing else. Evam atmani avidyataha dehadhyaso hi jayate sa evatma parisnyato liyate cha paratmani. Evam, now these examples were given. So here this topic is being concluded. Evam atmani, with reference to the self, avidyataha, because of the wrong understanding. Avidyataha dehadhyasa hi jayate. Deha adhyasa means mistaken identity with reference to our own self. We start imagining we are the body, etc. See, when we are thus mistaking ourselves to be the body, all the subsequent problems start coming. See, friends. Therefore, this deha adhyas is born out of the incomplete understanding. Be very attentive. Ignorance does not mean absence of knowledge. Knowledge can never be absent. When I say I do not know any language, let us say, I say I do not know Spanish. But this I know, that I do not know. So how can I be ignorant? Therefore, ignorance means incomplete knowledge. Now what is the incomplete knowledge? When I take this body I am, no problem. Other bodies I am not. From then onwards, the samsara begins. Number one, this body I am and the baby is mine. Therefore, anything happens to the baby, it happens to me. But if the baby is someone else's, then I become a philosopher. See, so what is happening with reference to my own child? That I is extended in the child. So extension of the I is possessiveness, creating relations. And whenever we carry any possessions load on our head, we can never be happy. See, friends. Therefore, evam avidyataha. So what is the best way, option possible? It may not be possible for us to accept everybody as one's own. Okay, agreed. Is there any other option? Yes, there is an option. Don't start living as your body. Recognize again and again, we are functioning through the body. And when we start functioning through the body, the quality of our life will be different. When we start functioning as our body alone, then when the body is old, I am old. When the body is unhealthy, I am unhealthy. And in this manner, a funny I is born. We have to recognize this. Avidyataha dehadhyaso hi jayate. Sa eva atma parijñataha liyate cha paratmani. And when we come to recognize our real self, then the knower disappears in the absolute reality. Now take an example. When we go to sleep, this is another place, time of your life. You can really practice spiritual life. Every day we go to sleep, but not in satsang. When we go to sleep, how do we go to sleep? What are the steps? The steps are, we come back, everything is over now. For the day, bye. So you finish your food, dinner, whatever. Close the house, windows, doors, everything is closed. Enter below the quilt, cover ourselves. And then the last mantra chanting begins. I want to sleep, I want to sleep, I want to sleep, I want to sleep. Till this mantra is going on, I and want, sleep will never begin. And when the I and the want disappears, we start snoring with a musical note. I always used to have very funny questions in my life. My questions are always funny. What must be the snoring sound of Lata Mangeshkar? But she has got such a melodious voice. How much, how this Kishore Kumar must be snoring. Can we think of this? I get such funny thoughts. So, when the I disappears, and what is that I? The I was I, the body. The moment it disappears, life is beautiful. See? LG. LG is Lord Ganesha, not life is good. So, sa eva atma parijñataha liyate cha paratmani. Therefore, friends, the real spiritual progress is not becoming someone special, but losing all the speciality. Be attentive. Don't we do the same thing when we enter the sleep? We give up everything. To what extent? Forget about the name, fame and position, whether I am a big person, whether I am a prime minister, it's all nonsense. Ultimately, we give up that I am somebody. And when everything is given up, that time who are we? We are nobody, we have nothing. When we are nobody and we have nothing, then only the sleep and the bliss begins. Now learn from this experience. Spirituality therefore means not becoming someone special, but losing all the speciality. But normally what happens? We insist for a special treatment everywhere. And the special treatment creates the samsara. Therefore, sarvatmataya jnatam jagat sthavara jangamam abhavat sarva bhavanam dehanam chatmata kutaha. And when we come to discover the whole world as nothing but one's own being, see, everything is recognized as one's own being. We look at the world, what we have recognized ourselves to be. So be attentive. If we recognize ourselves to be a mere presence, then the whole world will disappear. If we recognize ourselves to be body, then we will see this world only as body. If we recognize ourselves to be Indian, then the whole world is seen as Indian, non-Indian. See? So where is the spiritual practice begins? Come to recognize your real nature. And therefore, he who has discovered his divine self, he can never look upon the world as an ugly creation of God. If we see ugliness in this world, it is contained in our own heart. It is nowhere outside. The world is beautiful. It is in the same world all the great masters lived. They never complained. They never condemned anyone. See, friends, therefore, when we start recognizing this principle, Sarvatmataya Jnatam, when we are recognized the one substratum supporting the whole creation, Abhavat Sarva Bhavanam, then the difference is born out of objectivity. When they disappear, therefore, who will call this body I am the reality? One goes beyond all the limitations of body, etc. In this manner, Atmanam Satatam Janam Kalam Naya Mahamate Prarabdhamakilam Bhoge Punjet Nodvegam Kartumarhasi. Now here, my principle has come out. What is my principle? Life is a time pass. Don't become seriousness about life. It's nothing worth. So what is said here? Atmanam Satatam Janan. So keep yourself self-oriented all the time. Kalam Naya Mahamate. And time pass. How long? As long as there is a prarabdha for the body, keep on living through the body as long as the body is functional. Now the question is, what should we do? There are two types of options. One type of option is Kavya Shastra Vinodena Kalo Gacchati Dhimata. Either we spend time in some good hobbies of music, culture, etc., or we study the scriptures, or we live lightly, spreading joy all around us. This way, spend your time of your life. One option. Second option, Vyasanena tu murkhanam nidraya kalahenava. So now there is a, you will go, in let us take USA. There the people live on a weekend philosophy. They will work hard Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. When the Friday comes, they are so happy. So lunchtime onward they start planning what they are going to do for the weekend. And then they go for the weekend, exhaust themselves completely in a most disgusting manner, drinking and all kinds of things, and come on Monday to work. Weekend. What happened? We went for a weekend and become weekend and then see? Vyasanena, getting lost in all kinds of addictions. Vyasanena. See, when I was in New York, about a few years before, we are going by car. So I told my friend, I said, hey, you park the car, let's go for a walk. Swamiji, don't forget, you are in USA. Here anybody can come and show you a dagger and take the things from you. Don't do that. Particularly, they see the Indians. The house which are attacked, they are basically of the Indians. My friend, very close friend. He and his wife, only two of them, went for work, daytime. And when they came home, everything was taken away, completely. all the laptops and the money and the gold, whatever it is. So I ask him, I say, hey, why this happens to you only? Your neighbor, Swamiji, these people are very smart. They know Indians have got wealth. Indians keep gold. Indians keep cash. They have got all latest gadgets. And the other people, they have nothing in their house. Because they earn to spend by weekend and again on the Monday they are pauper number one. And their whole life is lived only on the credit cards. There is no wealth at all. See? So although there is so much of prosperity, but because of this addiction, vyasanena, then for fulfilling their addictions, they don't mind taking to any course of life. So, vyasanena tu murkhanam nidraya kalahenava. Or their time is spent only in whole day and night only sleeping. Eat and sleep and sleep and eat and eat and sleep. That's it. Or kalahenava. Keep on fighting with anybody who comes in front of you. See, we come across, because I keep on moving so many places. On the airport also. Sometime, probably it happened in the old airport of Bangalore. Whatever may be the reason, the flight was delayed, and 8 o'clock, then they say 9 o'clock, then they say 10 o'clock and 12 o'clock, and then they say flight is cancelled, it will be tomorrow. Now the people who went and started attacking there, and I was watching from a distance, how nice it is going on, nice. One person told me, Swamiji, why don't you go and talk? I said, are they doing less that I should go and add something? And you should talk if you are heard. Do you think anybody is listening to them? They are shouting at each other only. And the one who is to be addressed is not there. Wasting our time. Nidraya kalahenava. On the contrary, during that time, sit quiet and do your meditation. Or keep on chanting Lord's name. And observe how your mind is reacting to the given situation. Be very attentive. Spiritual practice is not half an hour a day or 1 hour a day. Spiritual practice is we live 24/7 on this path. Then only we are going the right way. Otherwise, half hour meditation and thereafter frustration. See? Going one day to the church and thereafter only to the drinking booth. That is not the spiritual life. Therefore, kalam naya mahamate, O wise one, keep yourself tuned with your own real nature, and then prarabdham akhilam bhunjan. So whatever is presented before you, whatever your duties are towards your children, towards your wife, husband, your elders, mother, father, do your duties. And when you do your duty sincerely, be attentive, you will have no time to go the wrong way. See, whenever there is excess time available to us, we all go the wrong way. See, the problem of today's world is not shortage of time. The problem of today's world is the availability of excess of time. What to do, what to do, what to do. See? And therefore, here the teacher says, Kalam Naya Mahamate, we pass our time, whatever has to be done, it is done beautifully, cheerfully, happily, and finish. The life becomes beautiful. Rather than everything, oh God, I have to go to school, I don't think I can go today. So we start with the old ambassador car, starting trouble. Do you know the old cars used to have the handle? Or else you have to go on pushing it. After you go and push it, and it will start coughing, and then start. In the same manner, our day begins as if it is an obligation to the world that we are awake and we are coming to create nuisance. lead cheerfully and happily. Every moment of your life, you have understood everything in spirituality. Going to the temple and church, chanting the Lord's name, giving things in charity, and visiting the poor people, and showing pity rather than loving them. See, that is not spiritual life. So, wherever you are, remain cheerful and happy, and let the aura of happiness be around you all the time. There cannot be more spiritual practice than remaining happy under all conditions. In the highest spiritual practice. Otherwise, small little things are able to disturb us. You know, there was one survey conducted by some institution in USA about the happiest countries in this world, on the globe. And they came with the conclusion, 3 countries are happy. One is India, second is Indonesia, and third is Mexico. When there was in New Orleans, the Katrina havoc came. During that time, there was a deluge in Bombay also. Bombay came to normal condition within 4 days. New Orleans took more than 1 year, and yet it is not normal. So when I went there, they said, Swami, how it is possible? India is an underdeveloped country, and our USA is a developed country. Why it is taking so much of time here, and hardly there was any problem in Bombay? What is the reason? I said, because in India we know government doesn't function. So we function ourselves. And you people are for everything depending on government. So we have given up our rights, and you are fighting for the rights. So keep on fighting. Kalahena. The whole life is spent. What government should do? Here we know anything you do, government will do nothing. We are maintaining the terrorist at the cost of millions of dollars, isn't it? Although it is proved everything is done. But you know, ahimsa paramo. Why? And yet, you know, you will see, nobody is miserable, nobody is worried. Then what is our approach? Uska prarabdha, he is enjoying. Or maybe it is our prarabdha that we have to support him. See, friends, look at this world with this eye of wisdom, and time pass cheerfully and happily. Then you have to do nothing in this world. You have to go nowhere. You have to achieve nothing. You have to lose nothing. As long as we are here, let us spread the joy of our presence and be happy in spite of the world around us. Om Purnamadaha Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om. Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Hari Om.